Okay, bonjour. I am back at Tavern of Legends. 1 hour later, and one glass of water. Thirsty business. Okay. Alrighty, so again we have Ranveer. Here we have Kunshin. Another one of those that you don't see used as often anymore, but he's pretty cool with the negative defense. He's great on Titans, from what I've seen. And of course, he does Dark Allies and Elemental Link. And they have him set as the healer on this, which he's not super efficient as a healer in my opinion, but he works. Alrighty, and here, Frida dispels buffs. That sucks because you forget she has it. It really does, or at least I forget she has it. And she also has the negative 35 defense against ice. Now, obviously, if you were doing a red Titan, you would use Frida there for that. It's a pretty awesome asset and a fairly modest attack. So let's go ahead and get in here. You've got defense down and you've got attack. So let's see who I want to take for defense up. Actually, I'm just going to use one of my favorite teams. Do a quick autoplay with my fingers. Now, one of the reasons why this isn't my favorite team of all time, I have no idea why it works so well. But it really does work so well. I use it in just about everything. As long as a green and a yellow is allowed, that's where I use it. Occasionally, I might vary it a little bit, put in Phileas Fogg instead of Athos. But Athos has that nice little cover that he gives to at least one other ally. So I like him. Alright, so let's go ahead and get in here. And no mana potions suck. Alright, but I will go ahead and take a tornado. Okay. Now, troops with a team like this. Most of the heroes are fast. None of them are slow. But you take a team like this and you think, who do I want to have the most attack benefits? In this particular case, I'm going to put the mana troop on Hachiko and then go ahead and put the mage troop on Anne. Nice thing about Hachiko, of course, he counterattacks. And he gives plus critical damage. He also does fiends. So he's a pretty cool guy. I like him a lot. His passive, it's a modest little minion summon for allies. Roz. I love Roz. I used the crap out of her when I first got her a few months ago. And then I started realizing that while she's great in a left wing on defense, she's not a great tank. I tried her for a tank a while, but unless you have a board full of tiles, she really only does 1 or 2 shots. And I had other assets that could do a much better job as tank, like Arco. Arco's awesome. As a matter of fact, there's one particular Alliance master that they have this whole page where they keep track of people that have Arco as a tank and get donuts. So, Mom is awesome, Mom is hilarious. And they have a pretty successful alliance. Alrighty, Roz's passive, let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. Less elemental damage from troops of stronger element. So if it's a red, then it takes less damage from the troops, which can be kind of nice. It's a modest little asset. Arco. So he's not exactly a healer, but he's a healer. So all allies get 75 HP boosted for each minion owned by the allies. So you have to keep up your minions. You better hope for a green board. Now, that's one thing I've noticed about this particular team is I always have a great green and yellow board. I don't know why. One of the heroes probably has some sort of subversive trigger for better tiles. I know Buddy is like that. I'm not sure which one of these guys it is that does it, but they're miracle workers, usually. Now just watch, it'll be a complete flop of a board. And similar to Roz, she can be multi or she can be single. My husband is often reminding me, honey, make sure you pick a hero that is over 50% health, or else you won't get the full benefits of Anne. If all of the players on the opposite team have less than 50% health, you'll get a one-shot. Wham. Now, if one of them has more than 50% health and the rest of them are below, you click on the one that is over 50% and you get a multi-hit out the wazoo. It's absolutely amazing. And everybody dies. I like Anne, especially on defense, too, as a tank. For the longest time, she was my go-to tank for war. And just about any war. She's amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Athos. Three Musketeers family is relatively new. It is 2023, so probably a year or so. He's very fast, which is always an asset, and destroys minions. You might notice that there is not a mana buff. Oh, wait, there it is. Plus 20% mana for each destroyed minion. Awesome. So there you go. He's similar to Grimble. And it bypasses defensive buffs. So if you have a team that you're going against that has Hachiko, or I think it's Ariel, or no, Elena does, or Obakan. They all do reflect, you know. So Athos is actually great to take against those. And he regenerates HP. So over 2 turns, he's self-healing. So kind of like Leonidas, only a lot more efficient, in my opinion. And then, of course, there's the passive of covering somebody else. Whoops. Hello. There we go. So, now for the fun. See what I mean about crappy board? Just look. Oh, I'm sure it will get better. But it would suck if I ended up taking my favorite team and this was the first really crappy board. Okay, getting a cascade going. I don't mind, honestly, a crappy board to start, as long as they're not super fast enemy heroes, because I can get all the crap out of the way right off the bat. Okay, trying to make sure that I maximize my moves. Alrighty, so the board's not looking too bad now. I'm not going to start shooting anybody up. Okay, maybe I'll do Hachiko. There we go. Alrighty, now, remember what we said about Anne. Plus 50% mana. And you get your multi-hit. So she's pretty awesome. And let's go ahead and hit those. Get the rest of our greens up. Now Roz, because we have such a healthy green board right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit Arco. And get him going. And then hit Roz. And you'll see it's a multi-hit, which is very advantageous. Okay, go ahead and get them out of the way. Ghost tile a little. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Emergency stations. I am at 5%, so pardon me one moment. Lack of preparedness on my part, for which I apologize. There we go. Alrighty. So, holding my breath, hoping I don't end up with a cascade, which I did not. Yay. Okay. Holding my breath again, because I still don't want a cascade. Yay. Cool. Send those off. And Hachiko again. Good. Alrighty. Now we get the fun. Of course, all of them over 50%, so beautiful multi-hit. I'm going to go ahead and pick on Frida a little bit. She's a turkey. Okay. Set that cascade off. Get as much tile damage as possible. Ooh, I get a yellow gem. Okay, so with Roz, not so much a green board now, but she's still very powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Get as much tile damage as possible. Ranveer's going off, but as I said before, he's kind of only good as long as he has a team. And in this situation, everybody is, of course, below 50% health. So Anne, unfortunately, is not going to be a whole lot of good, but she's still powerful when she does hit. Okay. Get him out of the way. Get a little tile damage. And the board complied. I love it. So that was a relatively quick round. As long as you remember to ghost tile when you can, clear the board, things like that, and not use your heroes when you don't need to. Remember, some of them are timed release. So now for the pièce de résistance, as they say. This is where it's decisions. I, of course, have some favorites. Daoshin, I use her constantly. Now, there are lots of options, but sometimes you have too many options. So that's when I actually gear more towards family. If I know that a particular family works super duper well, I'll use that family. So like the Musketeers, great. When you have more Musketeers, I didn't actually show that earlier. When you have a family benefit like this, it's awesome. When this character receives damage from special skills or in place of a character in cover, there's a 60% chance to deal 20% of the received damage to all enemies. In other words, when you have that cover benefit going on, you can have additional damage reflected back to them. I love it, especially from De Winter, because she's got that whole return fire anyway. Now, this is when I have to ask myself, do I want to use Pengi because he's awesome, or do I want to use Gaylord? Gaylord, he's, of course, a goblin, or not goblin, a gargoyle, and of course he has that stone skin, but immune to incoming negative effects and damage from fiends. So I especially use him if I'm going up against a fiend maker. Like, well, there are a few of them. Can't think of them all. And then, of course, a measure of immunity. So I could use Gaylord, or we could go with Pengi. I don't know if you're familiar with Pengi, but the more minions you have, the better he shoots. And he shoots a lot. So stick him next to Daoshin. He and Daoshin feed off of each other. Now, in some cases, I would have Daoshin and Freya. This is just regular, everyday Freya. And Pengi all in that front three. And then have, whoever, some elemental defense down on the left wing, and then whoever on the right wing. Not going to do that this time, I don't think. Just because I am taking De Winter. And I take Ludwig usually whenever I take De Winter. Because De Winter, she's powerful, but she's freaking slow. Okay. So they recommend 4,600. We've got 5,566. Most of that power is in the troops. And then I'm going to switch the troop here to give Ludwig the mana troop because I, like an idiot, got started on my troops very late in my gameplay, and Ludwig is slow, so while he has great benefits of mana boost, he himself is still slow. Normally I would take a mana potion, not really taking the time for sake of the video running. So we have our all too familiar crappy boards going on. Yeah, let's go ahead and burst that. Got some stuff out of the way on the board. Want to hurry up and take the benefit of a blue if you got it. There we go. In cases like this, of course, maximize your options. And anytime you have empty space where an enemy has already been killed, do what's called ghost tiling. Okay. Go ahead and use Pangy, even though we don't have to. Just because I want to. Okay, on these, set Deocean off. As you can see, lots of minions already. So when we do shoot Pangy off, it's going to be beautiful. And then, Madame de Winter. She can be quite startlingly helpful. Okay. And now we get to see Dear Pangy going off again. Lots of fish fly. The more minions he has, the better he shoots. There we go. Pardon my notifications from Instacart. I love Instacart. But it is disruptive. Okay. Well, at this point, I need to be looking at the boss round, saving a few heroes. I can use D'Artagnan if I want to, just because he's fast. Clear a few. Decisions. So this is when I have to ask myself, do I really want to use them yet? I think I'm going to go ahead and use our artillery. Hopefully wear people out. And go ahead and use De Winter. Just to bring that reflect back up to the top. Okay. So, now that we have everybody off and triggered, now we get to enjoy the main fun. De Winter, in her glory, is a multi-hitter. She hits everybody with absolutely beautiful accuracy and force. If you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of her. And then there she goes again. So you stick Ludwig next to De Winter, and it's a revolving door of hits. Alrighty, and go ahead and get D'Artagnan charged. Get some more minions for Pangy to be fueled with. A little more De Winter. I'm trying to get them to all set off. There we go. That way we get to watch the cover and return fire if it shows. Usually it does. See? Protected on both sides. However, they did take off the taunt. That's okay. It won't break my heart. I'm kidding, my heart is broken. Okay. A little tiny bit of a delay because the board's in shambles. So this is when it's good that you have a tornado. Tornadoes are nice. You can actually purchase them. You can manufacture them. They're a later level. So if you're new to the game, be patient and set a goal of getting those suckers going in your manufacturing, because they are very important, especially against Titans or any kind of challenge event where there are bombs or presents blowing up and things like that. Yay, Seshat is dead. Long live Seshat. Alrighty. And go ahead and set off a little cascade. You might have noticed I haven't really set off Daoshin, but she is incredibly strong. And everybody kept refueled between her and Ludwig. So, there's the end of the challenge event. And I gotta go answer the door.